Hola amigos y amigas, welcome to a new class. In today's class, we are going to learn the difference between pero and sino. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, we have the word but, and as you might know, but has two different meanings in Spanish. One is pero, and the other is sino. So when do we use pero? First, whenever we use the word pero, is to connect two main ideas, right? Usually a sentence using pero has two ideas. Usually the first one is a positive statement and the second one that comes after pero is an opposite idea, something like an objection. Okay, and when do we use sino? Well, with SINO, in order to use SINO, we need the first part of the phrase to be a negative statement. So, in other words, it must start with no. No, the phrase, and then we use SINO. This is going to be clear in the following examples. Okay, let's start with pero sentences. And the first one goes, he's kind, but weird. He is kind, but weird. Okay, the first part, he's kind, is a positive statement. So we say, él, right? Kind, kind is a trait. That means that we need to use ser or estar for this verb. We need to use ser. That's right. And the conjugation for ser is es. Él es kind. How do you say kind in Spanish? In case you don't know it, is amable. Amable. Él es amable, but, pero, weird. A bit weird, you know? Weird es raro or extraño. This case we're going to use extraño, okay? Él es amable, pero extraño. Or pero un poco extraño, but a little weird. Un poco extraño. Okay, repeat the sentence after me. Él es amable, pero extraño. Muy bien. Next. It's hot, but I'm cold. This is a tricky sentence, and I have taught this topic in one of my previous videos, so I recommend you watch it. Okay, so it's hot. When we talk about weather for hot and cold, we need to use the verb hace. That's right, hace, hace. How do we say it's hot? It's hot now. Hace calor. Hace calor. That's right, hace calor. And as you can see here, this first part is a positive phrase, hace calor, then but equals pero. Hace calor, pero I am cold. So to be cold, to be hot, when referring to people, you know that these are special expressions that in Spanish need the verb tener. In case you don't remember, the main expressions that are to be plus a characteristic, and in Spanish use the verb tener, are frío, calor, hambre, sed. Okay, frío, cold, calor, hot, hambre, hungry, and sed, thirsty. with all of them, in English we use I am, but in Spanish we use tener. So in this case, we're gonna say hace calor, pero I have, in Spanish, of course, pero tengo, the cold is frío. Hace calor, pero tengo frío. I know, it's weird, right? Es extraño, ¿verdad? Es extraño. Okay, say this phrase aloud. Very good. Next. The book is interesting, but very long. I don't like that. I mean, it's interesting, but it's very long. So, the book is right. El libro. El libro. El libro is interesting. So, to be interesting is a characteristic or a state for a thing in this case. Something is, when we talk about facts, then we use the verb ser. In this case, the book is interesting. So we use el libro es interesante. El libro es interesante. Positive statement then follows, pero el libro es interesante, pero very, muy, long, largo. El libro es interesante, pero muy largo. I don't want to read it. Okay, repeat the phrase. El libro es interesante, pero muy largo. Muy bien. And the last sentence, the last example we're gonna see for but is this. I want to go out, but I have to work. That's a typical phrase that we can say anytime, right? I want to go out, but I have to work. Hopefully, it's not your case. Okay, I want. How do we say I want? Easy, right? Quiero, quiero to go out. I'm sure you know how to say to go in Spanish, and that's ir, right? Ir, I want to go. Quiero ir. But to go out, makes a different verb. To go out is salir. Quiero salir. I want to go out tonight. Quiero salir esta noche. Quiero salir. Again, it's positive. This part of the phrase is positive, then but. Pero, I have to. Remember, there is a difference with the verb have. We have the verb to have to indicate possession, ownership, and the other meaning is when we say have to plus a verb. You know, I have to work, I have to study, I have to do something that indicates an obligation. In that case, we still use the verb tener, but we add que. Quiero salir, pero tengo que, plus the base form of the verb, in this case, trabajar. Quiero salir, pero tengo que trabajar. Okay, it's your turn to say this aloud. Excelente, excelente. Now, moving on, we have the SINO sentences. So when do we use SINO for but? Well, here we have a couple of rules. So we use SINO when the first part of the sentence is a negative phrase, right? A negative phrase. And the second part of the sentence following but must not contain a verb. That means that it mostly is an adjective or a short word that describes something. No worries, you're gonna understand this with the examples. So, but remember, the first part of the sentence starts, it has a negative, so it is don't or doesn't or won't, didn't, etc. A negative part, and the second one, it has to be a short one that doesn't contain a verb. Okay, let's take a look at the sentences. He's not kind, but rude. So again, here I've taken the first part of the sentence. This is actually very similar to my previous example with but. But in this case, as you can see, he's not kind. We are starting with a negative statement. So that automatically means that this but is going to be translated as si no in Spanish. So he's not kind. Do you remember how to say kind? Kind. It was amable. That's right. So él, and since amable is a trait, we use ser. Él no es amable. Él no es amable, sino grosero. That's right. Él no es amable, sino grosero. Of course, there are other ways to say this. You can say he's not kind, he's rude. And it works in Spanish too, yeah. Él no es amable, él es grosero. That's right, but this is another form or another way to say, to communicate the same idea, right? Él no es amable, sino grosero. Okay, say it now. Excelente, excelente. Next sentence. It's not hot, but cold. Oh, the weather. It's not hot, but actually cold. Okay, here we said that for weather, we use the verb hacer, right? Hacer. So we start with hace, no so fast. Remember, in Spanish, we start, when we have a negative sentence, we always start with no. In English, it works the same way, except for sentences with the verb to be, like it's, he's not, where not is located right after the verb. But in Spanish, no goes always before the verb. So, no hace, that's right. No hace hot, no hace calor, right? No hace calor, sino frío. What are you talking about? It's not hot, but cold. Or it's cold. No hace calor, sino frío. Okay, it's your turn to read this sentence. Muy bien, muy bien. Siguiente. Next. The book is not interesting, but boring. Or, but rather boring. Okay, so the book, easy, right? The book, el libro, and here we used the verb ser, right? El libro, what? Did I hear? Snow? I don't think so. El libro no es. That's right. No always before the verb. El libro no es interesante. El libro no es interesante. Negative statement. Then, sino. El libro no es interesante, sino aburrido. Ya, no es interesante. Es aburrido. El libro no es interesante, sino aburrido. I don't like it. Okay, it's your turn to say this sentence aloud. Muy bien, muy bien. Excelente, excelente. Siguiente, siguiente. I don't have a dog, but a cat. I don't have a dog, but a cat. I like dogs better, so that's why, or I mean, in this case, it's the opposite for this person. I mean, the one who is saying this. I don't have a dog, but a cat. Okay, how do we say this very simple sentence? Now you're ready, right? I don't is no, no, have, I have, no tengo, no tengo, perro, a dog, no tengo un perro, but, si no, un gato. Excelente. No tengo un perro, sino un gato. I like cats better. Okay, say the phrase, please. Excelente. Muy bien, muy bien. And the next one is, okay, what comes next is the quiz. Okay, so the class for today was very easy, right? Very straightforward. You just have to keep an eye on if the first part is positive or negative. Okay, are you ready? Let's do it. Now, I have a cat, but I want a dog. You've got, as usual, 10 seconds to do this yourself. 3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Okay? How did it go? I hope you did this because this was a very simple one, right? Okay, let's take a look at the answer. I have a cat. Tengo un gato. Tengo un gato. Here, pero or si no. Obviously, pero, right? The first part is positive. So, tengo un gato, pero quiero un perro. Tengo un gato, pero quiero un perro. That's right. Okay, next sentence. He's not a friend, but an acquaintance. He's not a friend, but an acquaintance. In case you don't know, well, I think this word is not that easy because it's not common to use, right? So in Spanish, acquaintance is conocido. It's very similar to the verb conocer, to know, conocer, but it ends in ido, conocido. That's right, that's an acquaintance. Okay, again, you've got 10 seconds starting now. 3, 2, 1, 0. Ok, y la respuesta, and the answer is el, el es no, no, right? It's no es. El no es un amigo. Él no es un amigo, sino un conocido. That's right. Our relationship is not that deep, so he's not a friend, but an acquaintance. Él no es un amigo, sino un conocido. That's right. Okay, say this sentence aloud. Excellent, excelente, muy bien. And the last one, the last sentence for today's class goes, I'm not hungry, but thirsty. Remember, I mentioned these two words. These are the type of expressions that in English are used with I am, you are, he is, but in Spanish, we need the verb to have or tener, I mean tener in Spanish. So, yeah, again, 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Muy bien. Okay, in case you didn't know the meaning in Spanish for hungry and thirsty, well, good news because today you're going to learn that. You know, it's very important, especially when you're traveling, you're in a different place, you don't know anyone. At least you should be able, in order to survive, to express that you are hungry or thirsty, right? So I'm not. I, I said that in this case we need a verb to have, right? Or tener in Spanish. So it goes yo no, no, we start with no, no tengo, no tengo hungry, no tengo hambre, no tengo hambre. But, but, pero or si no, perfect. No tengo hambre, sino sed. No tengo hambre. I don't want to eat anything. I just want to drink. So bring me, please, any beverage. I need to drink. Tengo mucha sed. Tengo sed. No tengo hambre, sino sed. Come on, say it. Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. Y eso es todo por la clase de hoy. I hope you learned a lot today. So, as always, just thank you for watching my videos, and I hope you keep enjoying them. See you on the next one. Bye bye.